welcome to the Soulful Badass podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Jackson, an intuitive success coach from the UK, and I'm here to help entrepreneurs, leaders, and soul-aligned goddesses to create epic levels of success and impact in your life and your business. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you are tuning in every week for mindset talk, manifestation, magic, and incredible interviews with other soul-aligned entrepreneurs. So hit the subscribe button, and I'd love to invite you to come and join the Soulful Badass community. All the links are in the show notes. Please go and click them, and I'll see you in there. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast. Now, this week I am going to talk about a topic that probably affects, I'm going to call it out, about 90% of the listeners listening. And it is something that I have suffered with over the years. And as a recovering person in this, I feel I'm quite qualified to talk about it. So what is it all about? Perfectionism. I am a recovering perfectionist, and it used to plague me to the point where it took me longer to start my business because I was a perfectionist. I could not understand how to get started. I was in that time frame of thinking you have to be good before you can start anything. And that's absolute bonkers. And I'll tell you why. You perfectionists out there might be going, well, yeah, you've got to be good before you start, because if not, how do you move forward? What do you do? But I'm going to tell you. So let's see what it's all about. Because for me, perfectionism is an absolute thief. It is awful. It is so debilitating. And it is hidden within our logician mindset. So our archetype, which is the logician in us, wants to come out and tell you that it's totally justifiable to want to be a perfectionist. And actually, that's how you operate, and that's how you should operate. And that's how you're going to be successful. But it's talking absolute bullshit. What actually your perfectionist is doing, it is robbing your joy. It is robbing your success. It is robbing your confidence. And it is so self-destructive that actually it can be used as a form of self-harm. And I really want to put out there, yes, I am outing perfectionism as a form of self-harm. And I'll go into why, because it really can be dangerous used in the wrong hands, which is most people's hands. So let's dive into why is it so dangerous? Why is it holding you back? And why do we need to let it go? So I'll talk about the archetypes right throughout my podcast episodes. I love talking about them because what that basically means is your ego. Your ego is hiding in some way, shape, or form, and it's trying to mask something. And the archetypes that I talk about is how it tries to mask. Now, with the perfectionist, this is blatant logician archetype. It is your part of your ego that tries to hide as a logical way of thinking. So it will hide in disguise to hide your fear. So actually, your perfectionism is not the fear. It might be just stepping out your comfort zone. And it might actually be that your logician is scared because it knows how powerful you are once you get started. So once you get started, it knows that you are on a path that it can't protect you from because it doesn't know what's coming. And that scares the shit out of your logician. It puts it into a meltdown. So this is where we've got to start to understand that perfectionism is not something to wear with a badge of honor. I have heard so many women say, I am a perfectionist. They say it like it's a statement, like it's who they are. It's part of their identity and they can't get rid of it. They wear it with pride sometimes. You know, that idea of being a perfectionist. Yes, it maybe helped you in a corporate world, and it maybe helped you be the best employee. But do you really want to be the best employee? Do you really want to be that person, basically that sensible Susan in the office that's like, yes, let's all be perfect. Let's check your grammar. Let's do all of that. Oh, come on, Susan. Who wants to be like that? When you're an entrepreneur, you want freedom, you want movement, you want fast action. You want fun. You don't want to be sensible Susan sat in the corner getting their A plus every quarter for a performance. Come on, nobody wants that. So it's time to let that go. It is time to step outside of it, because it doesn't work for you as you move into this new life. When you're manifesting, when you're trying new things, when you are upping your level in your business, perfectionism is not going to get you there. If you look at any of the most successful people in this world, your Richard Bransons, your Tony Robbins, none of them are perfect. None of them have tried to be perfect. They've tried new things all along the way, and they've been scared or not scared in a sense of failure. What they've been scared of is not trying new things and not being brave and not being bold. That is where their fear is. That thought of staying in a small place because the perfectionism gets them is like nonsense to them. They don't understand it. It's illogical, because success does not come from perfectionism. Are you using it as a robber of your joy? Because let me tell you the 3 ways that it really does start to rob things from you. First of all, it can thieve your joy. Yes, it can stop you actually being happy. So whether it's a situation you're facing, whether it's something in your business, what you're actually doing with your perfectionism is creating a world where you think things should be, a world in what you think things should look a certain way. So you are building this world in your mind. But when you experience the world as a whole, and there's a gap between what you're actually experiencing and what you've built up in your mind, suddenly it is not perfect enough. So whatever situation you are in, whether you might be going on holiday, whether you might be starting a new business, whether you might be starting a new relationship, you have this idea of what perfect should be. And actually, when it's not hitting the mark, you are not letting yourself feel happy, because you're saying it isn't what you wanted. It isn't what you set out. And sometimes that idea of perfect in your mind isn't actually achievable. So you are robbing yourself of what could be a really amazing holiday, a really amazing business, a really amazing relationship, because you have this idea of what it should be based on your perfectionist, based of what you've created in your mind. And remember, this creation is not from a good place. It isn't from a place of enlightenment. It's not from a place of soul driving. It is from a place of logician mindset, which is fear and lack. So actually, you've created something out of fear of lack that is unattainable. Perfectionism is never going to be achieved. And that's why your ego has went, well, let's create it. Let's say it has to look like this. So that family event has to go this way. That holiday has to be this way. Otherwise, anything that doesn't meet that expectation is less than. Again, it is built off lack. It is robbing your joy. It is stopping you being present. It is stopping you being in the moment. It is stopping you enjoying all the synchronicities that are actually there in front of you. So it really does rob your joy. But worst of all, it robs your confidence. Your perfectionism actually knocks your confidence. And this is you doing this to you. And this is where I say it can really be used as a form of self-harm. It can be used as a way to punish you. And the only one doing that is you. So that's why it can be a form of self-harm. So if you think about it, you have this idea of what is your perfect performance? What is your perfect way of something going? What is your perfect outcome for your business? And because it's perfect, you're never going to achieve it. So actually, you're always going to be left feeling not enough, feeling not good enough. That sales page isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to be good enough. The way that you were on camera wasn't perfect, so it's not enough. There is always going to be that level of you feeling and knocking yourself down, telling you that you are not enough. And the thing is, you are always enough. You are always good enough. You are always better than enough. Your perfectionism is just telling you are not enough to keep you small, to keep your level of confidence down, to keep you in those lower vibrational frequencies. So when you listen to that and when you are constantly saying, I'm a perfectionist, what you're saying is you are never going to achieve your results. You are never going to be good enough for yourself. And why? Why are you doing that to yourself? It could stem back from childhood. It could stem back from school, whatever it is, that fear of getting something wrong. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It matters the fact that you are carrying it on into your adult life. You are now choosing to do that to yourself. You could be listening to an old teacher that you had that was an absolute battle axe, but now that it is the voice inside your head doing that to you. It could be an old employee that absolutely, there was no, proving that you were any good to them. But you are taking that voice and you are using that now to punish yourself. So it really is robbing your confidence. And the only one who's allowing that to happen is you. And thirdly, it robs our success. So by wanting to be perfect all the time, we often don't even get started. Or we do a version of what we think is going to work based on this perfect idea. And when it doesn't work, we go back to, well, there you go, it wasn't good enough. But actually, when you're in business, nobody wants perfect. Nobody buys from perfect. Nobody really wants you to be like this homed version. They just want you to put the thing out so that they can buy the thing. They want you to be authentic. They want you to be true. They want you to be exactly who you are, which is an unperfect version of you. So it absolutely robs your success because it stops you getting started because you think you've got to be better at the beginning than you are. Plus, it stops you connecting with other people because while you're trying to be perfect, while you're trying to have the perfect sales page, while you're trying to have the perfect video, while you're trying to have the perfect podcast, it is stopping you moving forward and getting the thing done. So I've corrected myself, I don't know how many times in this podcast, and I am not going to edit it because it is true, it is authentic. The old me would have been like, oh my God, I need to go back and change that. I need to go back and change that. You don't need to go back and change things. You just need to be you and authentic and the real version of you. So if you've been holding yourself back or stopping yourself doing something moving forward because of perfectionism, you are robbing your own success. The reason your perfectionism is so strong is because on the other side of it is ultimate success. And your ego knows this and it's scared of it. It's scared of that energy. It's scared of stepping into the unknown. The successful version of you is unknown to it. It doesn't know how to manage with that much success. So it gets scared and it keeps you stuck. But your heart's desire is to have that success. So why are you keeping yourself from it? There is only you doing it. So we've got to get control of our ego. We've got to get control of our mind. So how do we do that? First off, when you think of it being the robber of joy, why don't you let situations be what they need to be? Adopt the mindset. Let it be what it's meant to be. And that's for everything. That's relationships, that's holidays, that's business, that's whatever it is you are applying this to. Let it be what it's meant to be. You might be blocking another gift or another lesson by trying to mask everything with perfectionism. When you let it be what it's meant to be, you get to see and experience in the present moment. You get to be present with them people you are surrounded by. You get to be present in your business. You get to understand what's working, what's not working from a real, authentic point of view. And this is in life, in relationships. If you experience it exactly how it's meant to be experienced by being present, what you can then decide is, do I like that experience or do I not? It might be that you actually don't like the experience. You don't like the people you're with. You don't like the thing that you're doing in your business. And that's when you can start to change and adapt. But also when you let it be what it's meant to be, you can actually see how magical, unprepared, and imperfect experiences can be. So you have all this magical experience that you are experiencing in your present moment that you would have missed by wanting everything to be perfect. So let it be what it's meant to be. Secondly, let yourself be good enough. Not perfect, just good enough. Know that if you are starting something, you are not going to be good at first. So let yourself just be good enough. Let yourself just try. Get in that learning mindset. Know that whatever you do, you can get better at, but you don't need to be perfect straight away. And as well, you don't need to be perfect ever. So why don't you just let yourself be just good enough? Get on camera. All you need to do is be just good enough. You just need to help some people. Do the podcast. It only needs to be just good enough. Everyone will like it because you are being authentic. And believe me, you're just good enough will be more than enough to most people. So let yourself take that pressure off. Allow yourself to just be who you are, flaws and all. Just be who you are meant to be and let that authentic voice shine in whatever way, shape that's meant to for you. So let yourself just be enough because you are more than enough anyway. And the more you let yourself just be enough, what you actually do is get better at the thing. You get better and better every time you're doing it because you're practicing, you're trying it, you're trying new things. You're saying, oh, I didn't like it that time, I'll try it this time. But you're taking the pressure off. You're not being nasty to yourself. You're not telling yourself that wasn't good enough. You're saying, yeah, that was good enough for now, and then we'll grow and we'll get better. And like you would with a child, adopt that mindset. How do you bring a child on? You don't talk down to them, or I hope you don't. If you're being a perfectionist with your children, please stop. So whatever way you are doing this, like soothe it through, soothe your ego so that you are actually bringing the best out of yourself. Do not want perfectionist straight away. I never want perfectionism. Just let's boycott it altogether. It's not needed. It really isn't needed. And then lastly, someone needs you to get started. It is robbing your success because actually on the other side of you starting the thing is you helping a hell of a lot of people. Whatever that is for you, whatever that business is, whatever that next step is, you are here to help a lot of people with that. So it is actually robbing you the chance to do that. So you need to start to think about your why and make it bigger than you. Make it bigger than that fear. Because somebody needs you to get started. Someone needs you to be successful. And I really want you to hear that. Someone needs you to be successful. Now, that could be somebody who's going to be a client of yours. That could be your child looking up to you and seeing you role modeling success. That could be all sorts. That could be your partner seeing how you are turning your life around and deciding to do the same thing. That could be Joe Blogs down the street who doesn't even know you, but is dead interested in your social media and keeps watching you and then thinks, oh, I'm going to try this new stuff. So whoever that is for you, somebody needs you to be successful. And to do that, you've got to get started. So you've got to drop the perfectionism. So this is really about changing the way you're behaving, changing the way you're showing up, changing the way you're looking at yourself, and stop being awful to yourself with your own perfectionism. So please stop wearing it like a badge of honor. Please stop saying, I am a perfectionist. I want you to throw that out the window. I am a learner. I am learning every day. I am learning to get better and better every single day. I am learning to try new things. I am learning to get out my comfort zone. I am learning to get excited with life, however it shows up. Look at the difference in these affirmations to I am a perfectionist. And did you know that I am a perfectionist is actually an affirmation. You have been affirming that to yourself. So you've been saying all these amazing affirmations probably daily, and then you've been absolutely killing it by saying I'm a perfectionist. So clear that one out of your vocabulary. I can't even say that word, but clear it out and make sure you're adopting this learning mindset. Stop letting perfectionism be the thief of your joy, success, and confidence. Like, it's time to up your game. It is time to let go of perfectionism, and it is time to live the life that you were born to live. So please join the Soulful Badass community. Let me know if this one has inspired you to move forward in some way, shape, or form, which I hope it has. Even if it is just dropping that affirmation of I am a perfectionist, let that go. You do not have to hold that badge. You do not have to wear it with pride. It is not yours anymore. You are here for bigger things. There is so much bigger for you in store when you let go of perfectionism. Believe me, I would never have done half the things I've done if I was trying to be a perfectionist. So let me know, drop in the comments in the Soulful Badass community. Let me hear all the things you're going to get started with, or you're going to be nicer to yourself because you are dropping this banner. Have the most amazing week, and I'll catch you next time.